WICR News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Circle to Circle. I'm your host, Stephen Pierce, along with my co-host, Pete Considore. Pete, how are we doing today?
We're doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I am doing phenomenal today. And you know why? It is because we have the very first game of the New York Ranger preseason now.
This is true. This is happening tonight.
I couldn't be happier
yes,
right now.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. They're playing the Devils at 7 p.m. They're playing the at MSG. I mean, I couldn't tell you how happy I am.
Try to get tickets for tonight. That was a kind of a battle.
I know. You'd be surprised.
I could have won that battle, except I got lazy, and that's never a good thing.
And we had to do the good show today. We had to do Circle to Circle.
Welcome to the show, guys. You're listening to WICR. Of course, you can listen to us on Ustream.com by searching WICR. It's almost as easy as falling down while you're skating.
Well said, Pete.
Thank you.
Said. You know what?
I think I did that last year, and no one really got it.
Oh, you know what? Well,
maybe for Circle to Circle, it's a little better.
Oh, you know what? It's fitting perfectly.
Good.
Let's kick things right off today, because as much as the Rangers didn't do anything in the offseason, their team is hardly set right now. And I know it didn't change too much, but there are so many moves that I see coming in right now, and I can't tell you, I would love to talk about it. So the first thing I want to talk about, tonight's lineup obviously doesn't have all the main guys, but the Rangers are still over cap. They're over that cap hit. They're $600,000 over the cap. There needs to be a move. It's coming from the defense, if you ask me, in my opinion, and two reasons. One, you got Dylan Mickelrath, former first-round draft pick in 2012. He's ready to play. And I don't mean ready for NHL. I mean, he has to play, or he has to clear waivers to go down to the American Hockey League, and he will not do so. And you know what? The Rangers are nervous. They're scared that they're going to lose this former first-round pick, whether he's ready or not. But they don't want to keep letting down the fans, because how many first-rounder picks are they going to trade away at this point?
No, I agree. But
it's ridiculous.
But I think also, in the my opinion, you kind of have to look at not first-round draft picks, but are they going to perform?
And he's not.
He's not. So, honestly, you think about him, and then, Klein comes up in that conversation, too.
He does. And he's got $2.9 million for the next year. So there's some space up for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I honestly think that, I think Klein should stay. I mean, he's performed in the past. I know with his injury, he really never woke up from it last season when he came back.
But prior to that.
He was, I would argue that he was getting close to one of the top defensemen in the league.
Oh yeah,
I think, just because he got hurt, that messed him up a little bit. He didn't start with the new team. He didn't start with Hayes. He didn't start with Hunwick was playing for him for a little bit. He didn't start with these players. So you know what? I think he just got a little blindsided by the dynamic. Am I making up excuses for him? No, I'm not trying to. But I honestly think you keep Klein to get rid of the other guy. I mean, I don't care if he's a first-round pick. If he's a pick that they got last round. If he's not performing, he's not performing.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the end of it. In my mind. I mean, yes, the fans want to see a first-round pick, stay. But just because you're a first-round pick doesn't mean you're going to do great things in the NHL. I mean, from college to the NHL or from the Canadian, junior league to the NHL, it's different. There's a huge jump.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to perform.
Absolutely. The only thing that I've been hearing so far is that the coaches of the Hartford Wolfpack down in the AHL really like what Mickelrath has done since Christmas or so last year. And Alain Vigneault has talked him up so far. He likes what he sees. He's doing well in the weight room so far. He did well skating-wise, which is weird because he's a 6'5", 230-pound solid muscle. and his job, when he came up in the past, he's played 3 games last year, and he was fighting in one.
Yeah.
He's being that goon that the Rangers don't need. You need a solid defensive guy who's going to shut the offense down from the other team, and that's not what Mickelrath does. He doesn't give you that. No. He gives you this big guy.
He gives you a presence,
which is fine.
But you know what?
That's not what you need in a
defenseman.
top 9 defenseman.
No, you do not need
He's playing
presence.
on the third pair.
Yeah. No.
And it's just I don't like the way he plays. I think he's probably a nice enough kid, but what is he, 23 at this point? He never progressed the way that they thought he would, and he's not going to play in the NHL. He's not ready. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I see in preseason that he's able to do the things that they're promising he's going to be able to do, but I would be very, very upset if they traded a guy like Klein and had Mickelrath play over him. That'd be ridiculous. And even the 7th guy, Rafi Diaz, who they had him 2 years ago when they went to the Stanley Cup final against the Kings. That whole season, Rafi Diaz played pretty well. And Hunwick was a great, serviceable 7th defenseman. And so where does Mickelrath fit in? Is he going to just sit on the team as a 7th defender?
Probably.
Or Vigneault goes with 8 defenders instead. He has 8 guys. And then you play the 6 that we all know and love, and then you just have Mickelrath not progress any further.
No,
and you're going to stun his growth. And not that he's going to grow anymore, but at this point, what do? You got to get rid of him. And I don't think they're going to.
I agree. I agree 100%. I just, Mickelrath, I just think, I don't want to compare him to Cam Talbot because he's not Cam Talbot in no circumstance, but you need room for growth. If he's going to be just a guy who's going to have a presence as a defenseman, he's not going to grow as a skilled defenseman. He's going to grow as a goon. And honestly, that's not what you need in the back end of a hockey game.
Right.
You want a goon as a center? Fine. He's skating all around. He's getting under people's skin. Fine. Perfect. But as a defenseman, what are you doing? What are you doing fighting someone as a defenseman? I'm not saying defensemen don't fight, but when you look at it, it's usually the forwards or the centers that are the forwards. That includes center. I don't know why I just made them 2 different categories. The forwards usually ones going at it because they're the ones most into the game, if you will. The defensemen offensively are present, but they're in back ice.
Yeah.
I saw 5 fights with defensemen on the Rangers at least this year. I know the Rangers aren't really a big fighting team, but
yeah, you have guys that like Klein stepped up a few times when Hank was run into, but there are guys that are gonna do that. But the league has moved on.
Right.
If you're gonna play a system, Vigneault, that is about speed, moving the puck quickly from the back end, do not put Mickelrath in your system.
There's no reason.
He does not fit in. Maybe he played well in Hartford, and I'm not giving enough credit, but I went down to Hartford a few times last year, and I didn't like what I saw. And I don't think that he does well. Maybe it's just he wasn't playing with good enough players. I don't know. Whatever it could be, he does not fit with this team. He does not fit with the style of play. Maybe he's a big guy. Maybe he brings, throwing the body around. Maybe he's got a cannon of a slap shot. Doesn't matter.
He's got an incredible slap shot.
You have 6 guys who are bona fide NHL defensemen, and some of which can play on the top pair of any other team. Like, if you put a Mark Stahl, he's relatively capable of being a top pair defenseman, and I think Klein is there. Dan Boyle was there once in his life. Keith Yandel, he's got remarkable skills offensively. He's not the best, defensive defenseman, but he's still there.
I love Keith Yandel.
I think he's going to have such a better year now because he fits in the system. He knows what's going on. He has games under his belt. He knows the playoffs now, too. With the team, he knows the whole speed style, moving the puck up. I think he gets on the power play this year, and he quarterbacks a lot better.
How long is his contract? Do you know? I can't.
I think he signed through 1 more year.
1 more year, right?
So you got Yandel for this year, and then what is he going to be, 29 or 30 at the end of that? So you bring him back, or this is the best part about maybe getting rid of Mickelrath. You do have another first-round defenseman pick in Bradley Skagey, who played in college, and he is a very good defensive skater, and he also has offensive ability. He's not as big, which doesn't matter. He's still 6'2", 6'3". He's got the body, average. But he's got a very good shot. He skates very fluidly, very smoothly. Watching him play has been impressive so far. I've seen little clips in training camp. Then that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean he can play at the NHL level yet. Maybe he goes back down to Hartford for another year. He only played 10 or 11 games last year after his hockey season was over in college.
Right.
But what I love about him, he's got a nice low shot on the point. He'll drive it. The goalie will get a
and those
nice
are great for
rebounds.
deflections, especially with the low shot.
And greasy goals, which the Rangers need to score more of. They can't just rely on their speed all the time if they're getting trapped in.
And they can't snipe all the time either.
Exactly. So I love what Bradley Skagey brings to the team.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't play this year, maybe he'll play next year. But take solace in that, New York Ranger organization. Let Bradley come up maybe in another year. Maybe he plays this year. Maybe he's remarkable in the preseason and he comes up and plays. Or just keep him on the backlog, Keep him down there in the AHL. Let him progress even further. Then bring him up if there's an injury or there's someone that needs to be replaced. Yeah. Don't play Mickelrath. He doesn't fit with your system as well. And then, of course, you got guys like Chris Summers and Rafi Diaz who are going to be there. Chris Summers obviously played in the AHL last year. He played 1 or 2 games with the Rangers when everyone got hurt at the end of the year.
Right.
And he's fine. He does the job enough. He's not going to play every game, but he's there just in case. So let your guys develop, okay? And then get rid of Mickelrath. And if you really need to clear cap space, Mickelrath has a contract that can be cleared.
Yeah, it can be cleared.
You from that cap.
Just to before we go to break, just to get this point in there, I think the Rangers organization is going to make a big mistake by yes, you want to listen to the fans, but you need that leadership to say, you know what, this is not going to get us far.
Yeah, Glenn Sather's done it before.
Right, and you know what? As much as I'm not trying to disrespect the fans. I'm not trying to say, they're wrong. I get it. They want a first-round pick. They want talent. But the problem is that we're not trying to rebuild. We're trying to grow.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in a rebuild stage. We were, but now we have people that will go ahead and do stuff for us, and we just need them to play and play and play. But if you get rid of, let's say, Klein and keep McIlrath, from what we've seen, what is he going to do? Fight people?
You already have Tanner Glass, who is another subject in by itself. It's just
Tanner Glass.
I can't even. Why is he in the lineup, Vigneault? I get it, but come on. You were hurting your team with that guy in the lineup, and maybe this year you realize with the forwards you signed.
Hey, his one goal was huge.
And you could tell by the smile on Vigneault's face on the bench after the game was already a blowout at that point. And Tanner Glass.
It was just the icing on the cake. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was probably one of the best moments of the year, just to see Vigneault's face. And Tanner Glass and Kevin Hayes, who passed him the puck, was just
they couldn't believe it.
What just happened?
Yeah, they couldn't believe it either. They were honestly shocked. Tanner Glass was shocked for himself. But that's a different story for a different day. But like I said, I want the Rangers organization to take account what the fans want, but at the end of the day, do we really think that McIlrath is a better pick than, let's say, keeping Klein on or trying, to do something with? But like it for $600,000, that's how much they're over the cap.
Yeah, it's not much.
For $600,000, bring him down, do something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to get rid of him. Bring him down to the AHL.
Yeah, he won't clear waivers though. This is a year where he's at a professional level contract. So if they try and send him down, unfortunately he has to clear waivers, which he won't. I mean, if another team claims him, that looks even worse though. Would you rather move him, or would you rather another team claim him for free virtually?
Well, judging by his performance, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. I kind of see what happens to me. Let's say the Oilers take him. I'm not going to be too unhappy.
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers, their defense is atrocious.
Right, I mean, good for them. But, I mean, let's say the Kings or the Blackhawks take him, then I'll be like, all right.
And then he's going to win a championship.
Yeah,
and then we're
of course. Of course, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. Happened with Gabrick, with the Kings.
I mean, Carcillo's been all around the block.
Then
wins
Richards,
the Stanley Cup,
Richards to the...
Oh, goodness. We buy him out, he wins a cup. And now he's in the Wings, probably winning another cup this year.
Yeah, who knows?
All right, well, we have much more NHL news coming your way, much more New York Rangers talk. You're listening to Pete Considori and Stephen Pierce on Circle to Circle. We'll be right back.
Celebrate the USFL's 25th anniversary with this fantastic collector's magazine for the holidays. The USFL, the Rebel League that the NFL didn't respect but feared. This must-have features interviews with players